It's time for me to share this Dream Pedalboard. So I have been thinking about making this for a while now, and they finally got it. So I think I should start with why I decided to come up with this pedalboard. So a bit of background again for those of you who don't know. I have been using the Boss GT8 for the longest time. So I was part of the digital camp, and yeah, it was good. I loved the unit, but recently I just decided to venture in the world of analog pedals and pedalboard making, and it was a lot of fun. But the most impactful thing that I noticed immediately when I switched to the analog pedalboard, I lost the ability to like switch a lot of effects with one foot switch, because with the kind of music that I play live, I wanted to keep that kind of power, the switching power. So I would play stuff like I would pluck chords, clean tone, and immediately switch to a different or distorted guitar sound. So when I switched to a analog pedalboard, I found that when I perform on stage, I was like stepping on multiple pedals to turn it off and turn this pedal on. So it was inconvenient. But although I love the overdrive pedals, I've been appreciating the tone of analog pedals. I wanted the convenience of having to switch multiple effects or parameters on and off with just one step of a foot switch. So the obvious solution to that in the analog pedalboard world is to get a switcher. So long story short, I got the Boss MS3, which I'm stepping on to switch different patches. Initially, I kind of overlooked this switcher because it only had 3 loops, and I have like 6 or 8 pedals that I want to use. Excuse me. But upon further checking on this unit, it's actually very powerful because it's a multi-effects unit slash switcher. So it has internal effects, and it's convenient actually for me that way, because I actually love the digital chorus and the delay, reverb. It's convenient for me to have that in one unit. Normally I just turn it on, like the delay, I just turn it on. I don't have to tweak anything, especially the chorus. I've used the GT8, the GT1, and now the MS3. I just turn on the chorus, and it's exactly the kind of chorus that I want. I don't have to tweak anything, and it's convenient for me that way. And I just connect, for the Boss MS3, it allows me to connect my favorite pedals, a few of them. It only has 3 loops. So, and it also has MIDI functionality. It can control pedals with MIDI functions. So at first I didn't bother with MIDI, but now that I have the Boss MS3, I learned about MIDI, and it's actually really fun and also powerful the way it controls the functions of different pedals. And I'll make a video about that soon, MIDI. So yeah, that's the reason why I got this pedalboard. And I just added a few more pedals that offered effects that the Boss MS3 lacked. So as feature-packed the Boss MS3 is, it didn't have amp simulation, which the IR200 has. And it didn't have synthesizer, which the SY200 has, and it also doesn't have a looper, which I get from the RC500. So I've added those 3 pedals to compensate for those lacking in the Boss MS3. So this is the dream rig for 2025. So I should start with, or I should talk about the effects chain. By the way, I'm using a Ghostfire pedal board, the SPL-07, if you're wondering, and I have a Caline power supply at the back there, which I'm not going to show you because it's already connected. I don't want to flip it around and mess up the connections. So effects chain from the guitar, it goes to the Wah, Vox Wah right over there, the right side. And from the Wah, it goes to the MS3 immediately because everything else is connected to the MS3. And so the MS3 has 3 loops. For the loop 1, I've got the Wampler Ego 76 compressor turned on or connected. All of those pedals are on because I just control which loops are going to be on using the MS3. So loop 1 is Ego 76 compressor by Wampler. Loop 2, I have these 3. I can't reach it because the pedal board is there. The Nux Queen of Tone, Green Mile, and the Slostortion. Those 3 overdrive and distortion pedals are connected to loop 2. Normally you want to have different pedals for different loops so that you can decide whether which loop you want on, or you want to have both of them on. But since I only have 3 loops and I have a lot of pedals connected, I decided to connect the 3 overdrive pedals and distortion pedals in loop 2. So from the send of loop 2, it goes to the Queen of Tone, Green Mile, and Slostortion, and back to the return of loop 2. Loop 3 is where I got the IR200 connected. So loop 3 is always going to be on because the IR200 serves as my amp simulation, and it's a little bit complicated because I'm using a 4-cable method with loop 3. I know I didn't know what a 4-cable method was before this pedal board, but we learn new things along the way. So from the send of loop 3, it goes to the input of IR200, and like an amp, it has an effects loop, the IR200. So it has a send. So from the send of the IR200, it goes, ideally it should go back to the return of loop 3, but I actually inserted the SY200 in the effects loop of the IR200 as well. So from the send of IR200, it goes to the input of the SY200, and the output of the SY200 will go to the return of loop 3, and the output of loop 3 will go to the return of the IR200. And what that does, if you're not yet confused, basically it takes all the internal effects, the modulation and time-based effects after loop 3, as well as the SY200. It takes all those effects into the effects loop of the IR200. That's basically what it does. And the output of the IR200 will go to the input, the 2 inputs of the RC500, and these 2 cables of the RC500 goes to the speakers. So that's the effects chain. And I have a external foot switch connected to the MS3 as well, and the expression pedal also connected to the MS3. So what I'm gonna do in this video, I'm just gonna show you like the first 4 basic patches that I created when I got this pedal board, just to give you an idea on how I'm gonna use this in a practical application. So excuse me, I'm currently in bank number 30, and this is the first 4 patches. So patch number 1 is basically just a clean sound. So basically what's gonna happen is I'm gonna switch to a different patch, and what's happening is that the MS3 is controlling the IR200 via MIDI function, or a MIDI command, or a patch change command, program change. It's a PC. It can either be, it either means patch change or program change. So every time I switch to a different patch, it will also switch to the IR200. I'm not sure if it can be seen in the camera, but the IR200 will also change when I change to a different patch. So aside from that MIDI function, the IR200 will also control which loops I'm gonna have on and off, and also the internal effects. For this one, it's a clean amp on the IR200. Loop 1 is also on, which is a compressor, and I have a chorus and delay, a short delay on as well. So that's what's happening in patch number 1. Patch number 2 is, I got loop 1 off now, and it's switched to a low gain overdriven amp sound. So it's a tweed combo amp in the IR200 and a short delay as well. So that's the patch number 2. And by the way, the reverb, there's a built-in reverb in the IR200, which is really cool. It gives me more room to play around with the effects in the MS3. Oh, whoops, kind of messed up the camera here. Okay. Patch number 3 is a metal sound. So that's just a Bogner uberchall amp in the IR200 and another short delay. Okay, so finally patch number 4, I've created like a, or I've decided this to be my lead tone, main lead tone. It's an X high gain amp in the IR200. And another short delay. So that's how I use this pedal board. I just step on the MS3. Unless I have to step on the others, sometimes I do, depending on the patch that I'm using or the application. But in a basic sense, that's how I use the pedal board. The MS3 controls everything. In the next few videos, I will be sharing to you more in depth on how I use these pedals in the pedal board. It's in its entirety. Yeah, so stay tuned. Thanks for watching.